that though.
You're looking down at me?
Yes, Sam. Yes, your head top.
Oh, maybe I need to pull this in a little more. Is this better? Is this better? Okay. 1 second. How are you, Car? You're frozen. Hello?
I'm. Oh, here you
Hi.
are. Hi. Hi.
Can you hear me
Can you hear
now?
me now? Yes, I can.
You hear a noise
You
in
hear
my
a noise in my
background?
background?
Like,
Like
like a
like
fan?
a fan? No, I'm not hearing that.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Great. So, hello to you, and hi to everyone who will join because I don't see anybody yet.
Not the who will
Who will
join.
join? No, sir. This is like, when you join some. Oh, someone has jumped on. Hello. Welcome to Jam Vibes and Culture. I'm Ruth Ann.
I'm
Oh, I'm
Camellia.
Camellia.
I'm Camellia.
Oh my goodness.
I'm in a
I'm in
different
a different
world.
world. Clearly. And today on Jamaican Camilla didn't know about the she's in Jamaica. I'm like, I don't know where this girl grew up. Because
Girl,
I'm
I
not from
didn't know about it
Jamaica.
for true.
Because
I
we're
don't
going to
think
talk
we.
about some of the stuff like what we eat, what we do during Easter time. Camilla, are you with us?
I'm with you, but I can hardly
I'm
hear
with you, but
you.
I can hardly hear you. Girl, your camera froze and it's not in the best way. I'm gonna take a screenshot. Am I back?
Please do not.
Please do not. I did. I need to show it to you. Jump off and jump back on. You have frozen, and honestly, girl, you don't want to be stuck like this. So Camellia will be rejoining us for Jump Vibes and Culture. Her camera froze just now. But if you just joined us, this is where every Sunday evening, Camellia and I, to the best of our ability, we jump on here and we do our best to keep our Jamaican vibes and culture alive by sharing some of the things that we experienced and some things we never experienced but heard about. And just to keep everyone up to date, if you're living in if you're living in Jamaica still, or you're Jamaican living within the diaspora, or your parents are Jamaicans and you just want to keep in touch with the culture and what we do, how we've evolved, some of the things that we still do, then this is definitely the place for you. Camilla, have you rejoined? I'm seeing a blank space where you should be.
I'm
I'm
here. I'm
here.
seeing
I'm
me.
seeing me. Girl, I'm not see you. But let us know in the chat, guys. Are you seeing Camilla? Because if you are seeing
Yes,
Camilla,
I'm
that's
seeing
fine.
me. I'm seeing me in
I'm
the
seeing
chat.
me in the chat. Oh, me not see you. I'm not sure why. But let's go ahead. Maybe let me see which what I'm connected to. The Wi-Fi is up and good. Maybe I should switch to data. But anyway, I'm not sure what's happening. Oh,
Hey,
there you are. I'm seeing you now.
okay,
Okay,
awesome.
awesome. But you frozen. Anyway, what's your? Oh, you're back. You're back. You're back.
What's my what?
What's my what? I was going to ask you about your favorite Easter tradition, bearing in mind that I know that you grew up Adventist, and so some of these things would not apply to you.
I think
Oh, I
Easter
think
time is
Easter
when we
time is
had
when we had
harvest at
harvest
church.
at church.
Is that the time?
Is that the time? I
I'm
don't
asking.
know. I'm asking.
I think so.
I
I
think
think
so. I think
Easter time was
Easter
when we
time
had
was when we
harvest
had
at
harvest
church.
at church.
So you'd get your
So
little
you'd get your little
basket. You'd make a
basket. You'd
basket
make a
from
basket
box,
from box,
and then
and
you
then
would take a
you
little
would take
brown
a little brown
provision and
provision
whatever
and
to
whatever to
church.
church.
You're
You're
responsible for
responsible for
selling
selling
your little thing
your little thing
and then give
and
the
then
money to
give
the
the money to
church
the
and
church and
so I think it
so.
was
I think it
about
was
that
about
time.
that time.
But as it relates to
But as it
food,
relates to food,
bun and cheese is
bun and
all I
cheese is
know.
all I know. Oh my. We're gonna talk about that, but just going back a little bit, many people would know that Jamaica is a Christian centric country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most people here are Christians, and as much as we're Protestants here in Jamaica, a lot of the celebrations are still linked to the
Catholicism.
And thus, whenever there is Easter, you think about the season of Lent. And so when there's a season of Lent, it's 40 days, right? So you have Jamaicans. Yeah, man, you have Jamaicans. I grew up in the Moravian church and we used to have this litany that you'd read at Lent. And so a lot of Jamaicans even now will celebrate Lent by giving up something. And you might have heard of that, Cam.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
as much of that. So people will give up different things. They'll give up meat, like animal protein. They'll give up, some people give up watching certain things, certain movies,
Some people
certain
give up sex.
some people give up sex for 40 days. It's like a mini cleanse. And some people, once they do that, they just never go back to that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but absolutely. Somebody's loving your hair, Camellia.
Is you sure it's not here?
Well, nobody's seeing mine.
Well, Lucifer. Oh Lord. Thank you. Yes, it is my it is my real hair. Thank you.
Yeah. So apart from that, though, Camille, you know how people sometimes in Jamaica people will say, "I don't really go to church, but there's certain times when you'll catch me at church, like Christmas time and New Year." Well, guess what? You also catch people at church Easter time.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of them seasons that people find a way to church. I th- but I don't think we ever, I don't know. I think I don't relate to Easter the way the typical Jamaican does, just because of how I was raised.
Maybe. Even
Yeah.
Good Friday, what I know you probably can relate to, whether or not you
Mhm.
wanted to or not, is that around Easter time, every show on CVM TVJ, and this is no plug, but
Crucifixion.
they're all about crucifixion.
That is true. That is true. That much I remember.
Yeah. And so you spend hours as a family just watching different versions of the crucifixion story.
Can I tell you how much I hated that story growing up?
No, tell me no.
Girl, because I just felt like it was so bloody. I'm like, how do you process this? Like, I know he died, but mercy.
It ain't bloody. It was brutal.
I know, but that stage, I don't know if I was able to process it.
I don't know. Maybe it's a way kids get an introduction into how
Probably.
calm and graphic the world can
Uh,
be.
we're talking about Easter in Easter celebrations in Jamaica. Is that something you celebrate in your country? Maybe you have it by a different name.
I know in French it's Pâques,
Hmm?
PAC. But I guess he'll tell us more about that. But let's move on to what we eat. Come, you
Yes.
know the party because Maxfield Easter bun clear up
Here,
yourself
in a Colorado, but how come?
How come?
Yeah, so bun and cheese for sure. Last year, I was introduced to fish. I didn't know people fried fish for Easter.
I was so disappointed in you when I found out.
I did not
Very.
know.
Listen, and that is why we have special menus at fast food chains in Jamaica during Easter. So KFC currently has a fish sandwich. All the most, if not all, of the fast food places in Jamaica during Easter, they have
A fish option.
fish option or vegetarian option for people who are not eating meat for the month for the season of Lent.
That's interesting. I don't know. Yes, I pride myself as being as Jamaican as Aki and Salty. I'm very culturally too. But when it comes on to Easter, I feel a little misalignment.
Mercy. Well, here you are to learn. That is what the program is all about. You know,
That is true.
vibes
So
and
we have
culture.
bun and cheese and fish. What else we have?
We have fish, and that's when you normally make your bammies as well. Bammies all year round, but specifically
Mm-hmm.
during that time. And our jerk as well. So people are still gonna have their jerk chicken and their jerk pork, but you're absolutely going to have lots of escovitch fish, lots of festival, lots of bammy, lots of bun. Easter
Mm-hmm.
bun and spiced buns because you have some buns that are not sold outside of Easter time. You know that,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you have those specific buns that you buy them big old bun during Easter time and you have to get a nice tin of tasty cheese.
The cheese, yes. You can't mix it up with no
Plenty
Swiss
cheese.
cheese, no Parmesan. It has to be tasty cheddar cheese.
A
And
nice
I'm
slice.
I'm vegetarian. I don't do dairy, but I make provision for cheddar cheese.
Listen, the interesting thing for me, sliding off topic a little bit about cheese, is when you live a little bit of life outside of Jamaica and you're introduced to a variation of cheese. Not to say that they're not in Jamaica. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to step away to embrace certain things
Yeah,
first. And you're like, oh my goodness. And people start behaving like or cheese in like cheese. I'm like, shut up. Because
that's
it
a
doesn't matter
realist.
how much I'm enjoying all these other cheeses, because I do, but nothing like a slice of chasty cheese when you just cut it out of the tin. That clearly you need to have some kind of skills that you get from the army or elsewhere to get that cheese out of the tin. The hustle
I,
where you go through.
I think at this point, tasting is just making it a part of the tradition. They're not making it easier for it. They're like, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to stay. But when it comes on to tasty cheddar cheese, I've had other kinds of cheddar, and I'm like, tasty goes to the cow farm.
Yeah. But
Them go milk the cow themselves.
come on. Have you
The rest
seen,
of them, I
speaking
don't
of
know what they might
animals?
do. They might use cheese concentrate or something like that. I'm going with that.
We're like real milk.
Oh my
Real
goodness. You
milk.
can almost smell it cow in a tasty cheese.
You're like, Becky gave me this slice. Thank you, Becky.
But Ruth, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When is Easter?
Girl, every Easter time I have to look on the calendar. It usually falls between March and April.
Mm.
So you have Ash Wednesday, which is like the precursor. I think it's around that time. Don't quote me that the Lenten season starts.
Is
Yeah,
there
so
a
you have
date?
Ash Wednesday, and that's a public holiday. It's not as I think it's like the third week or second Wednesday in whatever month. So it's not the same every year.
Okay. Well, what is Ash Wednesday? How did it get its name?
Girl, don't ask me about the Ash Wednesday part. You know what? Let me do a quick Google search. Why am I behaving like this? Ash
Yeah, what is
Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday? And
I
there's
don't know.
Holy Thursday
And then
and the
all
Good
of this is
Friday.
really leading up to the crucifixion, right? So you have the Ash Wednesday, but it's weird that Ash Wednesday doesn't come directly before the Thursday. And then you have the Holy Thursday, and then you have the Friday when apparent was it Friday Jesus was crucified.
Crucified,
And then three
rested on
days later
Sabbath,
he rose. So you have like the whole Holy Sunday
and
thing.
then Holy
That's
Sunday
the
rest.
day when people will go to
A whole
it was
celebration.
March 5 this year. I remember because, so it is a holy day of prayer and fasting in many Western Christian denominations. So I would have mentioned that, yes, a lot of Protestants are out here, but
Mhm.
a lot of the things still hinge on what we knew from the time when everybody was a Catholic.
Mm.
And yes, it precedes the Tuesday and marks the first day of Lent. I was right. The 6 weeks of penitence before Easter.
Mercy, mercy.
Yes.
I was interested in figuring out why they named it Ash Wednesday. What did
And not,
it's
I'm not
not
sure.
there? That's okay.
Yeah, you probably
Okay, so
can do
it's
a
just
deep dive Google search. I know that in the Catholic Church and Anglican Church, I grew up Moravian, but Anglican churches and Moravian churches are very close to, like, you have Protestants and them go far
mhm.
and wide. Moravians and Anglicans
Yeah.
never go too far.
Okay.
They still have especially the Anglicans. So they have the incense. They take the communion the same way. They'll read and do the same things basically that happens in
Hmm.
the Catholic Church. And I've gone to Anglican churches, and what they do even during communion, they put their finger in ash and they do a cross on your forehead. So
Ooh.
I'm not sure if it comes from that. I'm not sure.
Probably.
I'm just thinking it might.
It probably has something to do with it. There we go. Drawing upon our history.
Listen,
Okay. And you said it's the second or third week of March.
yeah, because it was on March 5 this year.
It got Easter gone already?
Not Easter come, Ash Wednesday gone. So Ash Wednesday is when you start the Easter season. Ash Wednesday happens, and during that time, it kickstarts the season of Lent. You remember, even if you go back, I guess, to the Bible, the whole story of Jesus going into Jerusalem on the donkey and whatnot, that is where it kind of comes from. So all of them 40 days leading up to his crucifixion.
You know what I thought? I thought it was just 1 week. So it's the Wednesdays Ash Wednesday, the same Thursdays,
Holy
Holy
Thursday.
Thursday, the same Fridays, Good Friday. Oh, I am learning. I feel like I'm in school. Teacher Ruth,
Oh,
that me have to say it on my phone as you know.
teacher Rhodes,
Teacher Ruth.
And so I can tell you some of the things we used to do as kids, and a lot of Jamaicans, especially rural Jamaicans, whenever it was Easter time. And I think some of these kind of stem from the British. So we used to set egg, and it sounds weird. It's egg white. So you'd kind of put the egg white out in some water in a glass. I'm trying to remember which day
Your
it was.
voice is going up and down.
Is it back?
Yes.
Yeah. And so you would go out, you'd set it there, and then you can't peep or anything. And then the next day you'd go and look. And it's like it's like a fortune egg situation. So whatever you see in there kind of predicts the future. Some people said they see wedding dresses and they got married. Some people said they saw boats and they traveled, they sail
Look like me
across
because
the
said so
ocean.
eggs.
And some, but nobody said it. Some people said them see what do you call that thing, casket and some
Oh, that
boat
was just
eggs.
about to ask.
And another thing we used to do, I don't remember the name of the tree, but there's this tree that they chop it on Good Friday, and it's the blood tree, and then it would the stain or whatever comes out would be red, and they're like,
Oh
this is
wow.
like the blood of Jesus.
Shakamuku.
Shakamuku. And we also have these Easter flowers. You must know it. It's almost like an orchid, but not quite. It's red and white. It blooms almost in a bell, and it's usually just at Easter time.
We're talking, and I feel like I grew up in a completely different place.
And you know why that is so important, and that is why we're trying to have all these stories shared right here on Jam Vibes and Culture. Because depending on where you grew up in Jamaica, your story may vary, and it doesn't make you any less Jamaican. So how
I,
you grew up socially within your family structure and what your
mhm.
beliefs are, your stories might sound foreign to me, just as mine might sound foreign to you.
Yeah, I feel a little. That's true. I just feel a little less Jamaican today. I don't know why. Well, I know why. I know absolutely know why. Like we're having a conversation, and I'm here like a student learning because I
Camilla,
don't know
you're
much.
gone.
Oh, I'm here. Am I
Yeah,
back?
you're back. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I feel almost like we're having a conversation. I'm just a fly on the wall, just here asking questions because you're saying, I'm like, what? When? How?
Maxwell, Easter Bun, listen. Easter was a vibe as a
And all of
child for me.
no, you're talking. I'm hungry. No, I want bun and cheese, and I want fried fish.
Joining us from another space today, your internet seems a bit iffy.
My internet. I'm sitting where the internet box is.
Okay, go again.
No, I'm saying now that we're talking about this, I feel I want bun and cheese and fried fish.
Yeah,
Hungry.
anytime you get a lot of that. And another thing as well, Camellia, it's usually kite season because it's very windy this time around.
That I know.
You made your own.
Oh, you froze.
Please again, me just come in.
I'm here. I'm seeing me on screen.
I'm go ahead, speak. I saw you, but you froze.
I'm familiar with kites. I made plenty of kites. So now I feel like I belong. Keep going. Keep going. Is this
No, but
gigs?
you can add your. I've been talking a lot, so you can add your tidbit here, talking about kites. The process you went through with your siblings making
Oh,
kites, flying your kites in your community, and just bear in mind now that that is usually at Easter time.
I didn't know that. But kites is, I think a lot of people know what kites are. But we usually make them from like book pages. So we tear out our book pages and make a triangle. So you need two book pages, like the wide thing in the middle of the book. You tear it from there, and then you puncture some holes in the middle, and you get the bone from a coconut limb, and you run it through it, and then you tie it to whatever string you can find. You lift it up, and you're gonna lift up,
You have to run off.
and you run off to get momentum, and you ain't gonna run.
Yup. It was good times, good times. And we usually have kite festivals in Jamaica. I've gone to a kite festival
I've,
in St. Anne, I
I've
believe.
not gone.
Yeah, they normally have this big, so it's on this big open field, and you have
Hmm.
kites of different sizes. And they have different prizes as well for persons whose kite stays afloat the longest, the biggest kite, all of those things. One man had this the kite was so far up in the air, it looked like a little speck. So he gave
Wow.
me an opportunity to hold it. He's like, do not let go. Because clearly he was there from morning with his kite because he planned to win a prize. I do have a video, shameless plug. You can find that on my channel.
Oh, Tasha says I'm echoing. The
Pardon?
same thing we had last week. Tasha
Oh,
says, "Hey Tash," she says I'm echoing.
hey Tash,
I
thanks for
hear it.
joining. I'm not hearing you echo on my side. I just know that from time to time you freeze.
I don't know what's happening today. But I think.
But now finish telling a story,
Oh,
girl.
sorry. Oh, sorry. We're talking nice. Go on, talk.
No, remember what you're gonna say. Hi Tasha, we're talking about Easter traditions in Jamaica. I think you grew up Adventist as well. Camilla grew up Adventist. And so a lot of things I was talking about, she not have no idea. I don't know if it's the same with you. What's your favorite Jamaican Easter tradition that you can remember? And don't tell me bun and cheese. Well, maybe that is the one that all of us remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yes, I was saying I held his you have to really grip it. Oh my goodness. It was an experience. You should come back to Jamaica, Camellia and Tasha, during April for Easter, and I hope they have another kite festival. Go and just ask one of the kite man them to allow you to really hold one of their kites. Don't let it go. They're gonna lose them price and they might vex. So make sure you do that.
Mute yourself, let me see. Let me see if I'm still echoing. Mute yourself, Ruth.
Um, it doesn't matter. You alone talk and see.
Hello. I'm not echoing. I'm still echoing. Mute yourself.
And I'll come back with this.
Hello. See, I'm not echoing now. But what I was saying that, like, even the fact that it was so far up in the sky, that feels like achievements, Because remember when you have momentum and your kite finally gets into the air, it's like I've done something. I put in all this work. So the fact that it was all the way up in there, I can only imagine. I mean, I've never been to a kite festival, but it's Easter time gig season. Fun fact, I can only eat Easter bun without pain. Otherwise, I can eat bun.
I don't understand, Tasha. You can only eat the one with pain. I don't understand.
I don't think of
You can
pain.
clear it up for us in the chat. Go ahead, Camille. I think you were saying something.
I don't No, I was asking. I cannot eat some. I can only eat Easter
Oh,
bun.
some food that you eat cause you to feel a little bit of pain, aches and pain here. Oh, but you can't eat regular bun.
Oh,
Ah, it's so interesting. What are the
wow.
spices in the bun? The spice bun. Because earlier we were talking about the fact that you had special Easter buns that weren't the regular bun. You only get these buns during Easter time.
That's interesting. I think it's probably something with the. Ruth, and you have to go mute when me talk. I think it's probably something with the ingredients. Watch how she gone. She turn off his something and turn on the camera. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's probably yup. That's the only time of year I eat it. I buy bun every now and then, but it's not Easter bun. But now that we're talking about Easter, all I want is a slice of cheese, There's a Caribbean store over on the west side. I'm sure they'll probably get bun by now. I'm gonna go over there tomorrow on my way, well, on my way home from work to get it, and I'm gonna message you. I assure you. But I was also asking if Easter is when gig season is. Is gig season attached to Easter?
Each season is attached mostly to pear season, avocado season, because you use the avocado seeds mostly to make cakes.
That makes sense. It's
Yeah.
almost like there's an activity
And we don't
attached
even
to
know if it's
every.
avocado season right now.
Is it?
At least we don't have a lot.
Is it avocado season now?
Not really, no.
You know what we should do? We should start a gig festival. Like when they have kite festival, we should start a gig
The way
festival.
you freeze. Well, you could, it sounds nice and interesting.
Oh, you know what these things, Ruth?
Me's a proper country girl, me's a
Me
proper country
too.
girl. And fun fact about me though, like you and Camilla grew up Adventist, I didn't. So, but I guess for us there was fluidity in what you believed and the church you could go to. In my family, so my grandmother was Moravian. My mom went to the Assemblies of the Firstborn. You have some persons who are Jehovah's Witnesses and all and sundry. And so even when my grandmother died when I was about 9, and my mom still went to her church, I'm like, hell nah, I'm not going. So I went to a separate church from my mom. I've never gone to the same church as her. So as a child, my little brother slash cousin slash brother, and I, as kids, would get ready, go to the Moravian church, and mom would go to church miles away, and that was that. So
That's
because of
good.
that, and then we visit other churches. And when you grow up in a small community as well, like everything is kind of shared. So even though I might not have gone to the Salvation Army Church, which is up there as well, or a Baptist church or whatnot, if they're having like a big event within their church, everything is a church trip for country people. Let's just start there. Going to the airport is a church trip. Camille McGill a chance to pitch in here. So everything. So we go to different churches, meet up with their for their different celebrations. Of course, all of them had different names. Can't keep track of them, but we'd go, and so we'd be introduced to different ways of worshiping, different ideologies, and so it was great growing up.
That's awesome. We did the same thing too. So mute yourself a second. Um, so I grew up Adventist, as you know, and as far back as I can track, my family they've been Adventist, especially on my mom's side. But we grew up in a small community, and we had like the Baptist church. We had a Pentecostal church. But harvest season, as I was mentioning before, it's a season. So it's not just our church that's having harvest. All these other churches were having harvest too. We had our harvest on Sabbath evening. So on Sunday evenings, we get dressed up and go to these different churches and go to their harvest. And I think it was such a beautiful thing though, because even though we believed differently, if my church was having something, we'd send invitation to the other churches and they'd come, whether it was Saturday or whatever, when they were having activities, they'd send us invitation. And so we'd go. And so even though you didn't go to the same church, everybody in the community was coming together around this religious activity. And for me, that was really beautiful, which is, even though I think I visited Jehovah's Witnesses, I visited Catholic, I visited an Anglican church. I've gone to a Baptist church. I went to a Pentecostal church one day. I run out. So when the spirit catch people, them are up and down in that church and I spill water. Me say, me no want catch cold, right?
They said you ran out, you sound like my aunt. My aunt said she went to a church once and they were going around and slapping people with towels and stuff. And she was, and listen, I am not bad mouthing anybody and their belief because I don't know what you're experiencing there. It's never been my experience. I'm just telling you a story. And so she said, if them ever come over here, and so of course they went over there because they flash it and everybody falls down or they slap you one. And she said when they hit her with it, she grab it and give them one lick. So I guess it's the opposite of you running out. But yeah, when you grow up in small rural
Small
areas,
communities.
yeah, small communities, you tend
I
to.
think we don't see differences in the same way that like in larger communities. Because we just grew up like mute yourself 1 second, sweetheart. I think we just grew up and Mass Jane across the road was Baptist. Miss Lady was Jehovah's Witness, but everybody, Miss Maud was Jehovah's Witness or whatever. Everybody in the community, you were a community. You knew these people. These people were your grandparents or your friends' grandparents or mom and something. And so we didn't see this big difference. We just knew that we went to church on a different day. And the fact that it was harvest season or concert or whatever, I just had somewhere else to go because I had nowhere else to go. So it was just this other church hosting an event that you went to, and it was good.
Unlike you, I think we saw the differences. We just never cared much for it. Like it didn't impact how you were treated. Yeah.
That's
So
probably true.
that's a good thing about growing up in small communities.
That's
To be
probably
honest
true.
with you, everywhere is just built up of small communities, you know. Just that when you
That's
get into
yeah.
these urban areas, they get a little bigger, and sometimes there's not much, and I don't even want to say tolerance for other people. There's not much understanding. Yeah, not
Yeah.
much understanding, and
It's
allowing
some
people to be their own individuals.
somebody sent me a quote one time years ago, and it said, "We fear what we do not know," which is one of the reasons why racism and all these different things continue to perpetuate, because you do not understand the person next to you. You see them as different, but what is different about them? And we don't take the time. So we stay in our little bubbles, which is, I think, is what happens in like big urban areas where you see this person and you're not going to make the effort to go reach out to that person, and so you stay in your bubble, they stay in theirs, and you stay over here, so I hate them and you don't even know why you hate them. Yeah, so yeah. And any other thing that's associated with Easter that we didn't mention?
Uh, I'm not
Drink,
sure.
any drink?
Easter drink, I don't really know of any Easter drink per se. Same old drink as far as I can remember. Your good old lemonade, your
Yeah,
good
I feel
red
like
stripe if it's
I came
hot
to
out.
school today.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
pretty
it.
much what we'd have. But Easter is a great time here in Jamaica. And camp, well, see,
Oh,
you get
Easter
to
camp.
know this part because, girl, I never grew up Adventist. I had my own Moravian camp, but our camp was lit and different, so I cannot speak to yours. So go ahead, Tasha and Camellia. This is your area to shine.
So at Easter camp, I hate camping to this day because of I went to two camps in my entire life. One was a summer camp, and the brutality of it, I knew I was not built for that. Yeah. So I remember we're having devotion. I'm gonna tell you about Easter camp in a bit. We're having devotion one morning and we were out in the sun, and it was long past breakfast time. The devotion was going on and on and on, and one pitney faint, and they picked her up and continued with the devotion. Two pitney faint, and they pick up. The third child fainted, and that's when they decided to wrap up the devotion. And I'm like, not made for this. Went to Easter camp now, and it was in St. Elizabeth, I think. It was sandy, yeah, and it was windy. And they were cooking in this outdoor kitchen, and the sand, the wind blew the sand into the food, and they gave us the food the same way. Then everybody starts on like dog. I'm like, God, my mother never said. My parents did not send me up here for this. And I have not, well, I went back to a camp when I came here. I'm like, yeah, camping is not mine. So Easter camp was a thing though. You'd save up all, you'd do a little fundraiser to get your money to pay if your parents couldn't pay, or the church would sponsor. The church sponsored at least one person for each camp, and that sponsored person was responsible for bringing back a report. Me always get sponsored. So I brought back a report, and you tell them everything that happened at camp and how it developed you spiritually and all of these different things. I started going to camp at around 15, wasn't Adventist yet, but would visit with my aunt. But I looked forward to camp every year after that. I don't like camping. If I'm going camping, no, it has to be glamping.
I guess we glammed from the onset. Because your camping sounded like you were in real tents. Were you in real tents?
No, we're in buildings, girl. Pass on the top cot.
I cannot relate to you. I mean, our cots weren't that comfortable. But the thing is, I grew up Moravian. I keep saying that, and it's because I'm trying to, point
Yeah.
out something. Yeah. So when I go to camp, one year we went to camp, and it was at the Bethlehem Moravian College. So we stayed at the dorms that the students who attended the school would use. So we had proper dorms and we had proper food to eat. But one camp me did go, and from that time I said, listen, camp food was not right. They cooked some chicken, and when I tell people to this day, you know how sometimes you go through different experiences, whether it's pain or pleasure, you remember that it happened, but you can't really. You can't find the words to describe it after it has passed for a long while. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just a memory. It happened and that's it. Not this one thing. They cooked some chicken soup. Come, you know me and the white soup don't play. And they made some chicken soup. And I could not eat it. And I could not fathom how some people beside me wanted mine and they ate it. It tasted like the way chicken smells when you are putting them in the hot water to pick the
You,
feathers off. Do you know that smell?
you,
If you know that smell, it
you know,
tastes
uh,
exact way.
as you bring that up, I remember just the first time I saw chickens being killed in a bunch. Like they hung them up on the thing and they'll go so and cut them neck. You mentioned that and I can still smell it.
That's what the soup tasted like.
You, we never have to mention the white soup though, but forget it. Me get it. No, our camp was different. Even like today, you had to get up in the wee hours of the morning with your little rag and your soap and your slippers and walk the line up to the in your little bath pot. I'm like, me master, me dey come from country, but me feel like I had enough of that at home. I'm not coming come suffer with this again. So no, camping is not my thing. Apparently, I'm going camping this year though.
Wow.
Going glamping, glamping.
Going glamping. And
Yes.
now that we're talking about it, I actually think I went to something similar to a camp. Maybe it was camping with Adventists during my time at NCU.
You're frozen, Ruth.
You
You
wasn't
froze. I
here
didn't
for
hear
me.
you.
The fellowship great. No, I was saying I think I went on something similar to a camp. Not sure what it was. Um, oh, a lie. I think it was at Camp Burley. I went to
Oh
Camp
yeah,
Burley.
I've gone to that.
Yeah.
Tash says, as a sheltered child that will be shipped to the States as school locked, camp was freedom. Best part was Friday hiking to the river somewhere. We never
Wow.
had one nor from me dear.
You see, that's the thing, about how you grew up and what was just good and easy
Yeah.
for you. See,
You
like
know
I
what?
tell you, Natasha was the ship off the foreign kind of girl. In a
But
good way, mama.
you know what's interesting about that? As she mentioned that camp was freedom. I'm thinking like kids who grew up in Kingston, going to country was freedom, you
The
know?
highlight of summer.
And you don't there like what is it? What's the big deal? So
But the
I
thing
get
is,
it.
as a country girl, I used to look forward to it. I used to love it because that was a time when you had extra people at home, and that's when you never really complained about being hungry. You were outside too much, having too much fun, running up and down with your cousins that you won't see until next year, summer. That you didn't even realize that you're having breakfast and dinner. Who cares about lunch? Go pick some fruits. Chill out. What's wrong with you?
Girl,
So I get it.
I don't know if me I don't know if I like the country town people coming to country idea. Because my cousins used to come behave like them better than we. But the worst part is, them coming from town with them tongue twang, and you know what? One of them I talk about moon pass stick. How we come out when country people come and town them I talk about moon pass stick because I first them I see all them kind of something. But the funny thing is, I enjoyed it to the point when they were leaving, I'd always be crying, and I didn't like that part. I didn't like them coming, and I don't know where I picked that up, but even today, I don't like people leaving. I need to explore that somewhere in therapy.
Yeah, explore it because if people leaving you like that, pardon where I'm gonna go with this, feels like death and dying.
It does.
And I know what you're talking about because as the little girl in country, and you see all of them coming down, and it just seemed as if they had a better life somewhere else. A
Yes.
great, grand, adventurous life somewhere. Now that me turn big, I'ma come a town and see also my place and I used to them. Me say, sister. But anyway, back then I felt like, oh my God, I'm the one missing out. And they've come here and they've spent time and you kind of bonded and you had a
Yeah.
great time. And then they had to leave. And every time they'd leave, it would feel as though a piece of you, a part of you just went missing.
Girl, I used to be that child running behind the vehicle, crying my eyes out, waving until I.
Listen,
Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel so sad.
sad.
Oh
Tashi
my
saying, girl,
God.
don't get me talking. That's my area. To this day, people from Kingston behave so.
That is true.
That is true, and so foreign people sometimes too when them come down.
Miss Emma.
Like you know the foreign and probably I mean not say nothing. Still
Them probably they are foreign and suffer like nothing. Take it for it plus for higher purchase. I wear them come down there wear them best clothes in the yard.
but you know what the beautiful thing though about growing up is that we can't even laugh about these things. And we'd have found ourselves in a lot of these situations. Because from being country girls, we found ourselves living in Kingston. Where hard life in Kingston is different from hard life in the country. And we'd
Hey,
have moved abroad where hard life of foreign is different from hard life in Jamaica. Come
hard
on.
life at Kingston hard. Hard life at country is like, oh, me have no money, but me have food, me teeth light.
Calm you froze and I feel
Can you hear me?
go ahead, Camellia. Yes, you were saying
I'm
hard
saying
life at Kingston.
hard life at Kingston hard. Hard life at country different. Hard life at country, all like, me have no money. They have food, they have water, they have river to get water, them teeth lights, they have everything. When they're at town,
Honestly,
it's
it's
a different thing. Then you go a
true.
foreign,
And if you need
yup, you're frozen, Ruth. Miss Car, you are frozen. Are you back? You are frozen. I'm moving here. You are the frozen one. Hello? Hello? Oh, she left. Oh, she's
I
back.
didn't leave you froze and then
No,
I
you
came
froze.
back.
I was here moving the whole time.
Well, I guess for you I froze and for me you
And you were on the screen like this.
you were on the screen in a weird way and I took a screenshot again.
I don't know what's going on with the internet today. But yeah, Easter was, yes.
Because I realized it's as life has started over. Camellia?
Or life started over.
Yeah, because the timer now says 33 seconds. I think this is a perfect time to kind
I'm
of
seeing
start wrapping.
I'm seeing 39. Or maybe I don't know what happened. Yes, we can wrap now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tasha and brother Lucifer, who joined us, and everybody else who jumped on from time to time throughout the program.
Thank you for being
Thank you
here.
very much. Go ahead,
No, I was saying thank you so much for being here, for keeping our company. For those of you in the chat, Tash and Brother Lucifer, as Ruth said, thank you. For those of you who popped on, it's showing 5 people. Yes, we people popped in and out. So thank you for joining. Come back next week for another live Jamaican vibes and culture. We don't know what we're going to be talking about, but I'm Camellia, and this is my best friend. What's your name?
I'm Ruth and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye bye.